manual bail. Good job. Do it again. Perfect. Manual bail. So when you're gonna manual bail, the things that you want to think about is that make sure that it's your gravity that gets you to your feet, not necessarily your crank pedal. Watch the difference. This is not a manual bail. See, the only thing that got me touching the ground is I just pushed my pedal. I really want you to be able to use the weight of your body to get yourself on the ground like this. Okay? That may sound silly to do, but for a young rider, that's very important to do for two reasons. One, when you're gonna do your manual bail, it will force you to keep your arm extended and then keep the bike high all the way until the point where you have to fall on your feet. Most riders, when they start manualing, they're a little bit afraid of throwing their weight back. All that they do is they keep their body up front like this. It's almost like they are afraid to go back on the bike. Well, actually, that's not almost, it is exactly like they are afraid to go back down. So that manual bail will kind of gives you the idea of what it feels like to be on the back of your bike. So on a scorecard, this is what you have to do. Athlete must perform a high manual on a flat surface and fall backward on his feet. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. Let me tell you a little bit story about manual bail and the reason why those things are important. At one point, not too long ago, I was teaching a clinic and one of my riders, actually an expert rider, I'm not going to name any name, but one of the expert rider go to lots of nationals, you know, has got some titles, like a great rider, was learning how to manual a double. And as he was manualing a double, I could tell that there was something off with his technique, like almost like he did not have the confidence to place himself correctly on the bike, on his bike. And I just asked him for the fun. I was like, you know what, let's go on a flat surface and I just want you to do a manual and then fall off your feet. And the kid couldn't do it. And he got a little bit frustrated with it. As I told him, it's like, look, I am not going to teach you anything else on the track until you can give me that basic exercise of just pulling and then fall off your feet. And in his view, he did not quite understand the importance of doing that. You know, to him, it was not important to win a race. It was nothing like manualing a double or jumping a double or things like that. It was just an exercise that he had a struggle with doing on a flat surface, falling on his feet. So he did not quite understand the importance of doing that. Well, to all of you guys, I'm going to tell you, for all the young rider, I'm going to tell you why it's important. If you want to learn how to manual, as you're going to progress, you're going to have to manual longer distances. Like you're going to do from a roller, and you're going to start with one roller. Then you're going to go for 2 roller, and then 3 roller. And it will come a point as you become advanced, you will be able to manual an entire rhythm section. Or you'll be able to manual and continue for as long as the bike can go. And you're just going to control maintaining your bike on that one wheel. In order for you to get to that point, it will be a lots of trial and error. And I'm talking about hours, week, month. You're going to have to practice how to do your manual. At first, what's going to happen is you're going to do your manual and the bike will fall automatically because you will not pull it hard enough. And that's okay. You just need to, at the first step, that's what you have to do. Pull as high as you can and the bike's going to fall, especially for the young rider. Okay, you're going to pull and the bike's going to fall. As you're going to get more comfortable, the bike's going to go higher and higher and higher. And here's the tricky point. When the bike's going to hit to a certain point, okay, it's just normal gravity, it comes a point where it's not going to come down. You're just going to fall off your feet. Okay? More than often, when that bike hit that sweet spot between the pivot point a lot of time the rider, what they end up doing is they end up putting the whole weight forward on the bike because they're afraid to pass that line and they don't want to fall back on their feet. So that caused them to always move their weight forward, and it prevents them from accepting that, hey, that's going to be the sweet spot and that's where I need to be in order to continue to do a distance. So it's almost like a safety mechanism that they're going to put all their weight forward, and that will show on the track, that will show on your double. And if it's your case that you ride like that, that's going to always prevent you from being comfortable on one wheel. So how do you practice that? Is that it comes a point where as you start manualing, you will constantly miss it. You will go too far, fall off your feet. Not far enough, fall off on your front wheel. Too far, fall off your feet, and so on. And you're gonna play in those pivot points for a long time until you really feel comfortable sitting in that sweet spot. So imagine a trainer trying to explain a kid, you perhaps, that you need to learn how to do this, and yet you don't know, you can't commit to fall off your feet. There is no room to grow. You have to be able to fall off your feet in order for you to learn how to manual. All right, I hope that makes sense. Another thing that you can also do as some sort of safety net is that you can also use your brake. When you get to a point where you manual and the bike goes too far, safety net number one, of course you have to fall off your feet. Safety net number two, you can always tap your brake. Make sure you have a good quality brake, and the bike will fall right down. As your speed increase, you're gonna want to use your brake for that technique. As you learn at slow speed, let's say just manual in a parking lot, you will be able to just fall off your feet and you'll be all right with that. But as your speed's gonna increase and you are going to manual doubles that are fast, well, if you over manual something, you may not be able to fall off your feet. So you're going to have to push your brake, and that's gonna make the bike fall down. But for the young rider on that scorecard, this is the basic things that you have to know. So pull your bike off, make sure that you don't use your crank pedal to just shoot your bike forward, just gravity. Pull your bike up, fall off your feet. Simple as it can be. If you are able to do that, well, score yourself that point. If you cannot do that, before you attempt any manual on the track and start developing bad habit, go in a parking lot anywhere in front of your house, in a driveway, and practice your manual and fall off your feet. After that, we will be able to start teaching the rest on the track. All right, good luck with that movement.
Perfect.